All right, let's dive into one of the smartest strategies in the entire hotel business, market segmentation. It's really the secret sauce that lets a hotel bring in the most revenue possible. And it's not by treating every single guest the same, quite the opposite. It's about understanding that every person walking through that door is looking for something a little different. So let's get into it.
So, let me start with a question for you. Think about it. How can one single hotel, the same building, be the absolute perfect spot for a high-powered CEO on a business trip and, at the exact same time, be the right choice for a college sports team that's pinching every penny? I mean, it sounds kind of impossible, right? Well, that's the exact problem that market segmentation is built to solve.
So here's our game plan. We're going to start with why just having one price for everyone is a total fail. Then we'll get into what market segmentation actually is. We'll look at the blueprint for how it's done, see some really cool real-world examples, and then we'll tie it all together to show how it becomes a winning strategy.
Okay, so the biggest issue right out of the gate is this simple idea. One price fits none. I mean, if a hotel just slaps one price tag on every room, every single night, they are just leaving a huge pile of cash on the table. And why is that? It's because their customers are all over the map. They have totally different reasons for traveling, they book in different ways, and most importantly, they have vastly different ideas about what a room is worth.
So, what's the fix? Well, it's a classic strategy, really. It's all about divide and conquer. Instead of trying to be this one generic thing for everybody, smart hotels use market segmentation to customize what they offer.
At its heart, market segmentation is actually a pretty simple concept, but it's incredibly powerful. All you're doing is taking this big, messy market and breaking it down into smaller, more manageable groups of people who share similar needs or habits. The whole point is to get to know each little group so well that you can give them exactly what they want.
And you have to remember this. This is not some rigid formula you pull out of a textbook. Nope. Every single hotel, whether it's a tiny boutique spot or a giant resort, has to define its own unique segments. It's all based on their location, who their customers are, and what their goals are. It's a totally custom job.
Okay, so how do they actually do it? What's the blueprint for carving up the market into these useful little groups? Well, let's take a look at the different criteria that hotels use.
There are so many ways to slice and dice the market. You can start with the most obvious. What's the purpose of the trip? Is it business or is it fun? Then, where are they coming from? That's geography. How do they act? Do they book way in advance or are they a last-minute kind of person? That's behavior. You can also look at demographics like their income level, what channel they use to book, and even get into psychographics, which is all about their lifestyle and what they value.
All right, this is where it gets really fun. Let's get out of the theory and jump into the real world. Let's see how hotels actually use these ideas to build out real, profitable market segments.
So, let's start with the most common split, transient guests, which just means individuals. You can see right away the business transient guest is there for work. They're probably paying a full rate or a special corporate rate, and they're usually traveling alone. Now look at the leisure transient guest. They're on vacation. They're way more sensitive to price, maybe looking for a package deal, and they could be traveling solo, as a couple, or with their whole family. See? Two very different guests, which means you need two very different strategies.
Now let's talk about the group segment. This is a whole different ballgame. This isn't just a bunch of friends who decided to show up at the same time. The key word here is contract. This business is locked in with a formal, signed contract for a whole block of rooms at a rate they've negotiated. For the hotel, this is amazing. It's guaranteed business, often booked way in advance.
And inside that big group category, there's this really handy acronym that helps hotels target specific kinds of groups. It's SMURF. Sounds a little funny, but it's super useful. You've got S for social, think weddings and big family parties. M for military reunions. E for educational, like that college sports team we talked about. R for religious groups. F for fraternal organizations. And finally, E for entertainment, like a touring band and their crew.
Now check this out. You could even create segments based on how a person books their room. A bar direct customer books right there with the hotel, on their website, over the phone, which means the hotel keeps all the money. But a bar indirect customer books through an online travel agency, an OTA. So yeah, the hotel gets the booking, but they have to pay a hefty commission for it. This shows you how two guests paying the exact same rate can be worth very different amounts to the hotel.
And of course, you've got segments built completely around promotions and deals. There are the opaque sites where you don't even know the name of the hotel till after you've paid. There are flash sales for members only, special mobile deals for last-minute app bookers. and all kinds of targeted campaigns for local events or holidays. Each one is designed to grab a very specific type of customer.
So we've sliced up the market. We've identified all these different customer groups. Now for the most important part of all. How does a hotel take all of this knowledge and actually turn it into a smart strategy that makes them more money?
This is where it all comes together. When you truly understand your segments, you can start differentiating your product. You can tailor everything. You know your business travelers need blazing fast Wi-Fi and a great desk, you give it to them. You know your leisure travelers want a great pool and kid-friendly meals, you create them. You can tweak your service, your staff training, even your entire brand image to be the perfect fit for your most important customers.
But that brings up a really big strategic question, right? Because even with great segmentation, a hotel can't be everything to everyone. So when you look at all the possible ways you could be different from the hotel down the street, which of those differences are actually worth spending money on in advertising?
Well, the answer is basically a checklist. A difference is only worth promoting if it ticks all these boxes. Is it actually important to your target customers? Is it really different from what your competitors are doing? And is it better? But you also have to ask, can my target customer actually afford this? And is it profitable for us to offer it? Nailing all of these is how you turn segmentation into a real powerhouse advantage.
And that really leaves us with one final powerful question that gets right to the core of this whole thing. Market segmentation. It isn't just about spreadsheets and data. It's about making a choice. If you can't be everything to everyone, who are you going to choose to be? Answering that question is the first step to truly owning your market.